The idiom that those that can do, those that can't teach, and those that can't teach, teach PE. How are you? Hi there, welcome to today's vlog. It's so great to see you again. Sorry the vlogs are not as frequent as I wanted them to be, or they have been in the past. Lockdown life is just intense and yeah, it's difficult to get through. But I wanted to talk today about 5 things that your teacher wants you to know but maybe can't tell you. And this is predominantly about music teaching, of course, because that's what I do, but it could be various different subjects and different teachers. The first thing to know is your teacher really wants you to succeed. We get a real kick out of it when students do well, when students achieve their goals, when they pass exams, when they're able to play a certain piece, when they reach a certain level, when, you know, they play in a concert. Those kind of things, I know I and all my colleagues get a real kick out of doing that. We get a kick out of it when you understand something. We want to share more with you because we got involved in this, not because we can't do anything else, but because we have a deep-rooted passion. For me, for music, for jazz, for saxophone. You know, some of the best experiences in my life have been playing the saxophone. Some of the most exciting, wonderful times I've had have been playing this piece of metal with, you know, blowing air down it. It's just made such a difference. And so I want to engage people with that. I want to share that passion with people. I want people to have those moments as well themselves. So the idiom that those that can do, those that can't teach, and those that can't teach, teach PE, is basically something to wind up sadistic PE teachers about rather than actually a truth, and especially in music, because those that have walked that journey before you have often had other guides. They've had people who have helped them, sometimes people who have hindered them, but we're all on that same path. And I always say to my students, you know, look, I'm just further down the road than you are right now. But I know that road, and I've taken some of the wrong turnings, and I've made some of the mistakes, and I'm trying to stop you guys from making those same mistakes. Sometimes you're going to have to make those mistakes so that you can learn from them yourselves. Number 2, because we want you to succeed so much, we get frustrated. We do. I get frustrated because I want you to succeed, and I get frustrated because I know what you're capable of. I know what you can do. Number 3, no excuses. And I want to read this to you. 99% of the failures come from people who have the habit of making excuses. The real man is one who always finds excuses for others but never excuses himself. Don't make excuses. Make something incredible happen in your life right now. Don't make excuses. And I've got to say, this is one of the things that really annoys me as a teacher, is people who are constantly making excuses. There are no excuses. If you can't play something, that's fine. You need to practice more, okay? If it's too hard for you, you need to practice more, okay? If it's not happening today, you need to practice more. I'm sorry, but that is the ultimate thing. There is no excuse. I mean, the other joke used to be, you know, why do so many saxophone players' marriages fail? It's because blaming it on the reed doesn't always work. And there's a little bit of dark humour in me that gets a little kick when students, you know, play something wrong and have a look at the reed, because I think, well, you're learning, but don't. It's not, there's no excuses. In the practice room, in the lesson room, you are not going to play as well as you can do when you're on your own, you know, or maybe playing for family, but you are not going to play as well on the stage as you do in the practice room. And you have to learn that. And what you have to do is get yourself to a certain level where you are good enough that even if you're not playing great in a concert performance, you're still pretty good. You know, there are going to be days when you're really inspired and you can really do it. But honestly, go back and watch the video I made last year when I was doing the classical saxophone recital. That was hard. And I'd gone through some pretty traumatic events the 2 weeks prior to that recital. But I had no excuses. I had to get out there and play. I probably made a couple of excuses, but actually, truth be told, there is no excuses. And I was actually offered the chance not to do it, to postpone that. And I thought, no, I've got to do it. And if you get up there and you can't play, the excuse must be, most of the time, I didn't do enough practice. And only you can change that. Now, we all have different aspects in life. We've all got jobs and commitments and family life and other things. And yes, you're doing it as a hobby for most of you, but don't make excuses, because excuses they just hinder your progress. Number 4, getting better is all about repeating yourself. You've got to practice at the edge of your ability many times correctly for something to sink in. And more often than not, the reason why mistakes creep into your pieces, into your playing, is because you've allowed mistakes to sort of go unnoticed, or you've just practiced it until you got it right and then you've moved on. What you've got to do is practice it many times correctly, and then it will go in the old noggin. You'll get it, you'll be able to play, and you'll succeed. My final point is talent. Now, a lot of people think that they are talented, or their little Jimmy or little Fiona is very talented. Having taught for 20 years now, and probably taught in the region of 800 to 1,000 students, I have to say that I've had 3, maybe 4, genuinely talented students, genuinely ones that show a natural ability that I can't explain how they do it. Lots and lots of my students have had the aptitude to be really good at music. Lots of those often share a very high level of intelligence. A lot of those have gone on, particularly those first students I taught 20 years ago, they're now doctors, lawyers, you know, high achieving tech entrepreneurs. But very few have had that natural talent where I've walked away from the lesson and gone, I can't explain how they've done that so well. The thing though you've got to remember is those that are talented are often those that also work the hardest, and that's what struck me. Those 3 or 4, 3 of them who are going to be, and one of them who already is, check out Rob Burton's Coffee with Dan here, they all work harder than everybody else as well, which puts me to shame as well. But it doesn't mean that you have to give up. You can't use the excuse, oh, I'm not talented, therefore I can't do it. Most people have the aptitude to do it, and I always like to use the analogy, just because you can't write English like Shakespeare doesn't mean you can't communicate well with English. And you should harness music, you should take it on, you should work as hard as you can at it to, you know, to express how you feel. One of my favourite things that I've been doing during lockdown in terms of teaching has been doing WhatsApp sacs. Now, I mentioned it a lot a few weeks ago, in fact nearly a month ago, when I launched it in the vlog. And it's a great way, if you're not willing to commit to lessons, or maybe you can't afford to commit to full-time lessons, of getting some feedback on your playing and some ideas, some worksheets, some critical feedback that you can use then to progress forward. It pairs up really well with a platinum membership at Cambridge Saxophone. And if you don't know about my platinum membership at Cambridge Saxophone, for free saxophone lessons, just click in the link below in the description, you can get hold of it. But I really enjoy this. It's a great way for me because I get to hear more people playing. And all you've got to do, you've got to send me some videos, send me some stuff over. I send you some text back. I try and send you some motivational text as well. I've not heard from you for a couple of weeks. I'm like, come on guys, time to send me some more stuff. What's going on? It's not as good as having a one-on-one lesson. It's not going to replace that, really, if you really want to progress, but it's certainly going to make a bit of a difference. Speaking of a bit of a difference, I've now got a replacement for this. This is my old Echo Audiophile 4 that I wanted to use to record some things up here in this little studio, just recording some audio to capture some audio. This wasn't working, managed to get a replacement on eBay for £35. Pretty happy with that. That one is pretty much redundant. But let's see how this one captures using Logic on my MacBook Pro. I've waited for ages for these to be available in the UK, and they finally are. So this was a little early Father's Day present from the kids to me, or from me to me really. I'm preparing the garden because I'm having some friends around for a socially distanced beer garden. We can't go to our pubs, all the pubs are still closed, so we decided to bring the pub to ourselves. So thank you very much for watching today. Don't forget to click a like and a subscribe if you don't do already, and I will see you really soon. Thank you very much for watching. Bye bye.